Oh, straight off the gate like that? We ain't even did an intro or nothing yet.
It has to be from the start.
What are you doing? Are you getting it?
It has to be from the start.
What in the world? What is this? Oh no.
It has to be from the start.
Yes, sir.
I don't talk much, but hey, y'all hear me today?
This is my fault. He threatened me with this, and I really did not believe him. This is well. Yeah, yes sir. Y'all gonna hear this man today for sure. Nobody can complain about it now. Back again another week and another episode 16. If you haven't seen the other ones, go see them. Yeah,
Go see him.
This is going to be very interesting here. If you're new here, welcome. If you like us, well, you can like, subscribe, follow, share, whatever platform you're watching this on. Everybody who is normal here, you know the drill. Comedy, kind of, I guess. We now have an what is that called? A megaphone. So I don't know. This is an experimental episode, I suppose. But news stories, comedy, joke in the riddle of the week. I'm gonna give you the answer of last week's riddle, a shout out to who got it, a new riddle for next week, and then a Bible verse of the week from him and I. So, without further ado, we're gonna jump right in to the first topic here. Who likes to fish? My mom and my grandma are going to fish as we speak. But who likes to fish? Me, I love fishing. He likes fishing. It's always a competition between us. I would say it's about 50-50, but
I always win.
he does have a knack for catching the most fish. Well, how would you like to go on a fishing trip where you not only break a record, but you catch an animal that's prehistoric at the same time? That is exactly what happened to a pair of Kentucky men. Now, I was a little confused at first because it said Kentucky men, but then it said this was in Texas. And then I figured it out by using my big brain that they're in Texas.
They're from Kentucky.
They're from Kentucky. That is correct. So, Art Weston was the fisherman, and his guide was Captain Kirk Kirkland. Captain Kirk Kirkland.
Captain Kirk, eh? Oh, Star Trek?
Yeah, Captain Kirk Kirkland. You know his parents were like, well, our last name's Kirkland, we might as well name him Kirk.
Beat me up, Scotty.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you.
Well,
if nobody don't know.
People used to say that to me in school constantly. They used to call me that. Scott Tissue because of the toilet paper brand. Yeah. Kids can be mean. They went to Sam Rayburn Lake because they wanted to catch a world record for alligator gar. Not many people out there looking for alligator gar, I don't think. Most people try to avoid them. But this dude, Art Weston, he's an avid fisherman. This is what this dude likes to do. So I ain't gonna knock him. Well, they were having a rough day. You know, that's like basically the normal experience for everybody who goes fishing, especially me. I feel like every time I go fishing, it's a rough experience. And they would catch one, or it would be on the hook. They'd reel it in, it'd get gone. So they eventually hooked something that they just knew was a record breaker fish. And they were battling this fish for a long time. But unfortunately, after this fish took them downriver to a, quote, stumpy area, is what they called it, the fish got away. Broke their hearts. I feel these guys' pain. By the way, they're trying to catch a world record gar, as I said, but they're only using 4-pound test line. That is very, very weak test line to catch a big fish on. But those are the rules. So, in the spirit of fishing, they kept on fishing. Even after that bad loss, as we do. And eventually, something got hooked on. And it was big. And they didn't know what it was. Well, after a half an hour battle, full 30 minutes, they were eventually able to bring up what they had on the end of the line. And it was an alligator something, but it wasn't an alligator gar. Them boys had an alligator snapping turtle on the end of their line that they hooked through its front foot. When I say big, I mean big. I'm going to put some pictures up right now. This thing...
I'm about to ask you. You got pictures for that?
Oh, I got pictures. They're looking at them right now. Do you see how big this thing is compared to the guy? You saw all of them, right?
Why they call it prehistoric?
Because they're old. Because they're really old and they just look like dinosaurs. You've seen a snapping turtle, right? Those things look like dinosaurs.
They ain't prehistoric though.
Well, I think that's more of a metaphorical thing.
Yeah, pretty big though.
It is. That thing is huge. I wouldn't want to catch one. I don't even like catching regular turtles. Let alone something that could probably lop off 3 or 4 of my fingers and being that big. Well, they eventually was able to remove the hook from the dude's hand, carefully avoiding that thing in the front that could easily take a hand off. And they assumed, they didn't weigh this thing, but they assumed that it probably weighed about 200 pounds. I'm going to expect that these guys know what they're talking about since they catch all these big fish all the time. That's big. 200 pounds, that's pretty big. It's pretty big. You lift weights. That's a lot of weight. Oh, sorry. Maybe not. Maybe not for you, it's not. But for the average man, the average Joe, 200 pounds it's pretty big. The heaviest alligator snapping turtle ever caught in Texas was 211 pounds, so they were only 11 pounds off.
Well, they didn't weigh it, so they might be over 211.
Well, that is true. I didn't think about that.
I'd have took that thing back to land and weighed it. Could have been 250.
Well, the reason that they let it go is because it's considered a threatened species and it's protected by the law in Texas, so you can't really hold on to them for very long. So I don't think they were taking that chance.
They didn't have nothing to weigh that. They was trying to catch an alligator gar. They ain't had nothing to weigh that.
They did.
Why didn't they weigh that with that?
I don't know. I guess because would you want to handle something that could take off fingers?
If I could break the world record, probably.
What are we doing right now? Well, they packed up and went home, but they weren't finished, okay? The next day, they went out. They're still searching for that alligator gar, baby. You know, these fishermen are relentless. Fishermen, they're a different breed of people. When they're determined, they'll go sun up to sun down. It didn't take long, though. It did not take them very long because eventually they hooked the big boy. And when I'm talking about big for an alligator gar, I mean big. To go back to what you said, after an hour-long battle with this fish, they finally pulled it up to shore, got an official scale, so they did have a scale, and this alligator gar weighed 188 pounds. That is more than me. I weigh 165. 188 pounds, that's a big fish, bro. After measuring it, weighing it, taking photos of it, they released the gar and submitted to a record application for the International Game and Fishing Association. That's who they got to go through in order to make sure that this record is good, verified. If the record is accepted, not only is it going to be a new record for the biggest alligator gar caught on 4-pound test line, but it beats the previous record of 117 pounds and 3 ounces. That's a big difference. This Art Wilson guy, you know, with his captain, Kirkland. This is his 10th world record, if it goes through. for catching alligator gar, just gar, and his 38th overall record in fishing in general. So this dude has a lot of free time on his hands. Me, I barely get to fish at all. And when I do get to fish, I barely catch anything bigger than my hand. So this would be pretty fun. Not gonna lie. You look like you're ready to say something.
Well. Catching an alligator gar ain't that impressive. And that was a 188-pound bass.
Okay, well,
Now,
I would be kind of scared if it was a 188-pound bass because that could probably eat a child. just saying. 30-pound bass are pretty big. You ever seen a mouth on like a big, yeah. 188-pound, that dude, that's eating someone's kid, maybe a dog. I don't know. But,
what's the name of this water hole?
what they call this? Sam Rayburg Lake in Texas.
Must be a bunch of giant animals in that water.
Well,
They got gators there?
in Texas? I doubt it.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just assuming. I'm not a gator expert. I don't know where alligators all... I know they're down here in the south a lot. I don't know if they go up to Texas. I would imagine they probably go up to Texas. Down at the bottom of Texas, right? Texas is not too far off from Louisiana.
I think they do.
Mississippi? Yeah, they probably do. Well, if the alligator gar getting that big, I don't think I want to deal with anything else. This next story is his favorite of the bunch. Because, because you even called me and was like, hey, you gonna talk about this one? I was like, yeah. No, I'm reading it right now. So, I just bought a house. I think I mentioned that last time. They have a house. Most people, when they get out on their own, they buy a house. Well, this one woman, she had a living space.
She has a sign. Instead of a house, she got a sign.
Yeah. So, instead of a home in the normal sense, her home is a little different. So let me break it down here. There's a grocery store named Family Fair Supermarkets in Midland, Michigan. And they had a contractor come out who was working on the roof when he made just a little discovery. Because while he was working on the roof, he happened to find a woman living inside of the store's sign. When I say sign, I'm going to throw up some pictures. I don't know if it's this building or this building. But she was in one of those two. And I think it's the one with like the triangular pyramid. And I'll tell you why in a second. So after police made contact with this lady, they discovered that she really did make this place a living space. She put what you would call a woman's touch into this. The space, first of all, was about 10 to 15 feet long, 5 feet wide, and 8 feet, they said, at its highest point. So, if they're indicating that it's a high point, I think it's the behind the sign with the triangular slope on it in the one photo. This woman put flooring in here. She had a desk with a computer and a printer and a Keurig. For those of you who don't know, a Keurig is a fancy coffee maker, right? And a pantry full of food. So this lady really was living out in this sign for approximately 1 year. And she was trespassed from the store, right? Because, you know, these things tend to happen when you're living in spaces you're not supposed to be living in. And they still have no clue how she was getting up on the roof, back and forth. But they didn't charge her. So, you know, she was not formally charged, the police said.
She was there for a year.
A year.
That's amazing.
A whole...
Look, if I was that contractor, I wouldn't have told him.
Yeah, but then what happens? That's on you and your company.
She wasn't there when I went.
Oh, lying, huh?
Nah.
Lying.
Ain't a lie. That's the truth.
You're just not gonna mention
the
it.
store could have charged the rent. Got a little more income.
Oh yeah, let's incentivize people just to shack up anywhere that they want. How would you feel if you went in your garage and Tony from down the street is just living in your garage, flat screen TV, a refrigerator full of food. You just happen to walk in there. He's living in the garage.
Give me $500 a week.
$500 a week. $500 a week.
Either that or get the stepping.
That's $2,000 a month. That's more than a mortgage payment.
Hey, you seen some of these apartments?
I have actually. It's, you know what? He's right. Yeah, you got a good point. Yeah. Apparently, well, they told this lady, hey, there's like homeless shelters around here. We can hook you up. And she goes, nah, no thanks. And I don't know what this lady's situation was. I give her props for, one, figuring out that there was a completely empty space behind this sign. I wonder how she came about knowing this information. And two, was able to go back and forth for a whole year without being found. And if the contract was never there, who knows how long she would have stayed there.
I'm pretty impressed by it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
I don't know how she got a desk, flooring.
Her refrigerator is right below her.
Oh, you
She
mean
ain't got far to eat.
the store itself?
Yep.
So now we're stealing from...
No, I'm talking about that. She had to have money to buy the stuff that she got me. She was up there working. That was her office. You know what I'm saying? So lunchtime she just going down to the store. I bet if you looked on the camera you could see her coming in and out.
I don't know how this audio is going to sound, but I am looking forward to editing
Did they
this.
say her name?
No, she's unidentified.
Oh, well, there's Betty again. She's been in here 3 times a day.
What if this lady has already lived in several department store signs? Walmart, Target, L.I.O.N. Yeah, big name brands. I don't know. This is crazy. I don't know how she got all that stuff up there without getting caught. I'm a little impressed, to be honest with you. This is like every kid's dream is just to find a hideout and live there.
Oh, there's Rooftop Betty.
Rooftop Betty. I don't know if that's a flattering name or not, but well, you like that transition there? Well, we're going back to animals for a second, and we're going back to the Outback, as they call it. Like I said, if you don't know what the Outback is, you don't get out much. That's Australia, and this is in Queensland State, in Conway National Park. That's a sanctuary for like a bunch of wildlife. Forest rangers happened upon something a little grand, they say here, and let me explain what I mean by grand. They found a cane toad, cane like sugar cane, C-A-N-E, or Big Daddy Cane. But it wasn't only just a cane toad; it was a big cane toad, right? Kaylee said that this is pronounced Kylie Gray, which is K-Y-L-E-E. Kylie. Well, we'll just say Kylie, because my wife is always right. Kylie Gray, a wildlife protection officer, found the toad that they nicknamed Toadzilla because of how big it was. Here's a photo. This is a big, this thing is big. I mean, what, like, from the way she's holding it, a basketball-sized frog, I'd have to say. It weighed 6 pounds, so that's pretty big for a frog. Completely smashing the previous record of 50 grams. Okay, 50 grams to 60 pounds. A 60-pound frog. 50 grams smashing the 6-pound. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, dude. I'm going downhill.
I'm throw him off today.
A 6-pound toad is way bigger than 60 grams, is what I'm trying to say. Pull it together. That makes Toadzilla 6 times bigger than the previous record that they had. Kylie Gray said, how big this thing is, and the species in general. It has a very mean appetite. This thing eats bugs. It eats reptiles and small mammals like rats, small reptiles like lizards and stuff. Cane toads were introduced in the Queensland in 1935 to combat a beetle infestation, but as normal in these situations, they became a really big problem. This is what happens when you put an animal that's not foreign to a land into an unforeign land. Things like this happen, alright? Female cane toads are very good at breeding. That's what the article said. That's not my opinion. They lay 25,000 to 35,000 eggs in a single breeding season.
You know how many? It's 25,000, 35,000 eggs?
25,000 to 35,000. Yeah.
Thank you, son.
You're welcome. With their rapid reproduction and the toxic skin secretion, you know, I'm sure like we've all had a dog eat a frog and then their dog's mouth starts kind of foaming up. Our dog used to do that all the time.
Become a frog.
Well, not.
Their face becomes a frog.
Yeah, they start kind of foaming a little bit. Frogs.
You remember them copperheads bite Rocco in the face?
Rocco's face will swell up. Yeah, he looked like a big old plump grape. Like I said, 25,000 to 35,000. With their ability to reproduce like that and their toxic skin, they really started becoming a big problem for other wildlife. So, you know, after these forest rangers caught it and the wildlife team thought about it and they relocated the frog to the afterlife because they euthanized it. They killed it. Surprise! There's your twist ending here. Surprise. Basically, they did that because, like I said, this is an invasive species that is not foreign to this land, that was introduced way back in the 30s when people didn't make the greatest decisions about things.
Well, where'd they get them from?
I don't know.
They don't even know where they got them from, but they know they was introduced.
I'm sure they know where they got them from.
Send them back.
Okay, well, that's not, like, gonna solve their problem.
He gonna kill this frog like it's his fault.
It's an invasive species.
I mean, have an invasive zoo.
What?
Put a bunch of invasive animals in the zoo.
I don't think that you understand how this works.
Yes, I understand.
Nah. Well, they euthanized the frog all to basically ensure that the ecosystem was working as it's supposed to. Because this thing, like I said, it's eating a bunch of animals. It's got toxic skin. They reproduce like crazy. They're becoming a real big problem. So Toadzilla.
Sound like a lot of humans.
Yeah. You can't really relocate humans though. They're kind of all over the place, unfortunately. But anyway, so here's a story that I really like because this is good news and bad news. The good news is we don't got to look at this stupid trend anymore. But the bad news is we're going to have to hear preppy kids all over the Carolinas crying at night in sorrow and pain because it's official. The Carolina squat has officially gone into effect in its ban. I think it's great news. This is only good news to me for two reasons. Uh-oh. I accidentally flipped off the camera. This is a good reason for me for two reasons. One, I think it looks really, really, really stupid. And two, it's kind of a safety concern. Because, you know, it's hard to look at the road when you're pointing up to the sky. The law was introduced in November of 2023, and they gave a 180-day grace period. That's a pretty good grace period. 180 days? That's pretty good. That's a long time. Well, the law states that the front fender cannot be raised up more than 4 inches or more above the height of the rear fender. For pickup trucks, it cannot be more than 6 inches or higher. Your first offense is $100. Your second offense is $200. And your third offense is $300. You see how they did that? 1 to 100, 2 to... Yeah. It's easy. And after your third offense, you lose driving privileges for a year. So, by the way, if you don't know what a Carolina squad is, here's some pictures. Doesn't this just look so amazingly cool? Don't you see this and just think to yourself, man, I really want to do that to my vehicle? Yeah, me either. There's been a lot of local auto shops. You keep looking at me like I'm saying something wrong here.
No, I ain't. But, look, I think these people are torn between wanting a lowrider and a lifted truck. They couldn't make their mind up.
So they met in the middle?
Did it.
So they met in the middle?
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good hypothesis. I still think it looks pretty stupid, to be honest with you. If that's the case, why not just get hydraulics?
I heard a lot of people call them female dogs. Female dogs like to squat. They squat when they pee. That's what I heard.
I like that. That's funny. Many auto body shops, of course, are getting tons and tons of phone calls because, hey, you only got 180 days to do this. If you don't get it figured out, it's going to cost you money in your driver's license. So there's a big uptick in auto shops. And now that the law's been implemented, now it's in place, they're going to get a bunch more calls. Because those late bloomers, they're going to have a hard time here. Here's a photo, by the way, of a cop measuring the front end and the back end of one dude's car. And look, this is just a guess, but I'm pretty sure this dude's getting hit with a fine. Okay, that's just a guess. Me personally, I'm happy about this. This is okay for me. This is good for me. I think it looks ridiculous anyway. Hey, I have my own opinions. If you don't like it, I don't care. So, in saying that, going from one silly topic about stupid looking things and how I think that this is a good thing and it's funny, I'm trying to segue here the best I can. We're gonna go into the joke and the riddle of the week. I gotta call my wife out here because, like always, she's getting her joke and riddle together at the last minute. Who would've?
Kaylee, come outside.
Yeah, you got it. All right, people. Here's your favorite guest, Kaylee.
Your favorite comedian.
Yeah, your favorite dude, the best comedian of our generation, right here. What do we say? The Don Rickles and Dave Chappelle of our generation. Yeah. If you combine those two people together, you get Kaylee, the female version. So, you ready? Do you actually have something picked?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Well, first, the joke of the week.
But okay. So, did you hear about the robbery at the glue factory?
I didn't, Kaylee.
It was a stick-up.
All right. Good.
Get it?
Because glue sticks.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
sticky.
But
All right, Kaylee.
Okay. This one's actually, I think, decent.
Okay.
Okay.
Setting the bar high. All right.
Did you hear about the archaeologist who got fired?
No, I didn't.
His career was in ruins. Are you smart enough for that joke? Did you get it?
Hit the sound effect on that.
Did you get? No, it's not.
It's on the table, so it won't be loud. Just hit the
No
alarm.
fighting.
See them quick hands.
You know what? I need a soundboard.
Yes.
Well, there's your jokes. I really hope that was worth it.
It was all right. Listen.
Yeah. See, this is what happens when you wait 7 days and you pick
No,
jokes
this is what happens
right
whenever
before
you guys
you get
just
on.
don't find anything funny ever. Dang, that was a lot of time.
We find things funny.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Not me.
Well, you're not funny.
You got to say a funny joke.
Yeah, funny things are funny.
Whatever.
All right.
Okay.
Well, then we can go right into the
Riddle.
riddle of the week. Now, the last week's riddle, okay, was the more you take, the more you leave behind. What do you think it is? You said you knew what it was.
Food. The more you eat, the more you poop.
Whoa. See, I was thinking he was meaning crumbs. Like.
Well, to be honest, that's not the worst answer I've ever heard. The more you eat, the more you poop. That's honestly that could fit, but that's not the given answer. No. 2 people gave an answer. Only 2. The answer to the riddle was footsteps. By the way, I forgot to say that. And out of those 2 people, both of them got it right, but only one person kind of, they got it right first, and it was again Michelle. Right. So you're on a winning streak here. Maybe you'll get the next one too. You know, you can only win if you comment. If you say it to yourself out loud, well, we can't hear you. So I don't know if you knew that. But you kind of got to type it in. So make sure we do that this week. Because you get a shout out. And if Michelle Bryant just keeps getting the answer over and over and over again, we might as well put her name on the wall of the best riddle answerer in the world. But this week, like every week from now on, you're going to have a chance. Unless Kaylee decides to retire, then we'll find, I don't know, somebody.
I can't be retired.
Maybe my sister will do it. No, never mind. That's a bad idea. Kaylee, would you like to give Dad and I our riddle?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. It's really easy. What can you hold in your right hand?
It depends. Shh.
What can you hold in your right hand, but never in your left hand? Wait.
I know the answer.
Yeah.
I already know it. Do you know it? You ready to get schooled right now?
What can you hold in your right hand, but never in your left hand?
You ready? I'm gonna say it. You want time? I'm gonna give you a good 15 seconds to think.
Hold it.
What can you hold in your right hand, but never in your left hand? I can see the gears in your brain. Like, you need some WD-40 on those things because there's a lot of grinding going on in there.
You're right on. You can only hold it.
What can you hold in your right hand but never your left hand? You ready for me to tell you? You ready? Bro, you're like a...
Oh, your tapping's louder than your actual voice.
You're like a cricket that you gotta sometimes just karate chop in the middle of the night. Here's the answer, Dad. You ready? It's taking too long.
I don't care.
Your left hand.
Well, give him a demonstration.
See?
Get it?
Here's your right hand. I can hold my left hand in my right hand, but I'll never be able to hold my left hand in my left hand.
That's what I was trying to say.
Well, you didn't say it right.
That's what I was trying to say, boy.
Okay, you tried to say it.
I was half
but-
right.
No, you said no. No.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I was trying to say.
If you go to a restaurant and go, yeah, let me get the sandwich made out of the chicken meat, and they gave you a hamburger, oh well, I have got it right. I gave you a sandwich. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, I said I can't hold my right hand.
You don't even know what you said. You can't even remember.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you points for your brain understanding the concept, but when it went through your mouth, you did not. It did not deliver here. So we'll put another tick on there for your boy over here. Man, I'm good.
You never started the ticks?
No, I'm just keeping it in the noggin,
A what?
my head. Anyway, how about you guys get a turn? Let's give our faithful audience of 7 members.
I think this one's a little bit of a dumber one.
Oh, nice. You know, this happens.
I mean, I
happens
don't know.
when you usually
I'll be really surprised if someone gets it because it
figure
is
out
kind of eh.
your content an hour before we start the podcast. Anyway.
When you start with people.
All right, Kaylee. What is the people's riddle of the week?
Okay. What kind of room has no doors or windows?
There it is. There's your riddle. I don't know why, but something about that riddle seems off. Anyway, be the first person to comment. At this rate, it'll probably be Michelle. But you have a chance. It's an equal chance. We don't discriminate against people here. Anybody can answer. As a matter of fact, we don't even see you typing. So you can be typing right now. I wouldn't even know. I recorded this way before you're typing.
You tell me I'm corny whenever I talk.
Why? What am I corny with?
You're corny. You just keep going on and on and on. Boy.
Yeah, that's, you're supposed to talk when you're... I mean, I thought you were supposed to talk when you're doing a podcast. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, it's only one-sided.
Maybe that's why Kaylee only has one segment. Anyway. Well, we hope that you thoroughly enjoyed everything that just happened here. Moving on to our last segment, which is Bible verse of the week. I'm gonna let you go first. I'll go.
Sure.
I'll go second. Yeah. So he'll go first. New Bible verse of the week. There's no shot that you and I had the same one, I guarantee. And we'll give like a brief explanation of why we chose this verse. And then we'll wrap it up. We'll call it. You'll be able to go on with your day as normal. And be inspired and have a good day from listening to us. Allow us in the future to make a lot of money for our entertainment purposes.
I got 2 verses.
Whoa. All right. 2. Oh, all right. Kick it, brother.
First verse is Matthew 7:15 through 19. So it says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing. Inwardly they are ravening wolves. You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hauled down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits you shall know them." Now, it's red writing. It's Jesus speaking. I just want to make that clear. He's pointing out that you'll know people by their fruits. This comes from Jesus Christ. The people that say you need to be like Jesus, but they live a sinful life. But this is coming from him, and he says you'll know them by their fruits. Right? He
Correct.
says it. Jesus said you'll know them by their fruits. So if you go to Galatians, it's Galatians 5:19 through 26. But I'll read 16 too. 16 says, "This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not be fulfilled with the lust of the flesh." So if you go on down to 19, it says, "Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lavishness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envies, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like of this world, which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do these things shall not inherit the kingdom of God." Then it says 22,
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are in Christ have crucified the flesh, which is up here. Told you what the flesh does. You crucify the flesh with the afflictions of lust. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be serious or vain, glory, provoking one another, envy one another. The reason I got these two is I was trying to let you know that if you live by the Spirit, your life you'll walk by it. You'll live by it. That's what people know you by. But if you live by the flesh, if you live by the flesh, that's what people know you by.
Mm-hmm.
So if you if you're saved through Jesus Christ and born again, the Spirit of the Lord lives in you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which will lead you by the Spirit. So the Spirit, so people will say, like, you can't judge them or if they live a certain way, but your actions, your lifestyle shows what you're led by. If you're led more by the Spirit, you'll do spiritual things. If you're led by the flesh, you do fleshly things.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And I like to go on about this fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith, meekness, and temperance. So you have so many people that say they are of God, but they treat people ungodly. Mm-hmm. They rude to people.
Mean to them.
They talk to people rude. They think, and then their mindset is, that's how I am. Like I said, people don't want to come talk to you because they might be afraid of you. No, people don't want to come talk to you because you are a jerk and you have attitude problems. That's why they don't want to come talk to you. So the flesh, a person that lives by the Spirit, they'll be kind to you. They'll treat you right. They won't be rude to you. You know what I'm saying? They won't talk down to you. Mm-hmm. They'll go out their way to make you feel good. I'm not talking about feel good. I'm talking about when you have an encounter with them, you won't go away saying, man, that man's a jerk. Yeah. You'll go away and say, man, that's a nice fella, he's kind. But the fruits of the Spirit causes them to be that way. So I just wanted to point out there is a difference. When people say there ain't a difference, there is a difference. Mm-hmm. You will live different. You'll act different. You'll walk different. And it came out of Jesus' mouth. He said it. You'll know them by their fruits. So that's basically, I just wanted to point that out. There's a difference. Mm-hmm. You got anything to say about that?
Sometimes when I talk to people, I got a fella at my job. For the longest, him and I get along and stuff. For the longest time, something about him, I was just like, this guy has to be a Christian, just by the way he acts. And I avoided asking him, but I eventually was like, all right, I'm asking him. And I asked him, and he's like, yeah, I'm a Christian. And I was like, dude, I knew it because I could just tell by your character and the way that you handle yourself. So sometimes you can just tell with people, and other times it's very easy to tell that they don't have the Spirit in them because they're mean and hateful and they're just easily agitated by things. They don't have that peace, You
know how some people, they'll get out of church and they'll go to a restaurant and they'll be so rude to the waitress. How is that the fruit of the Spirit there?
If the waitress walks by and their cup is empty and it's been empty for like 2 minutes, excuse me, can you please fill my drink? It's like, dude, it's not that serious. You don't realize that it's after church. You're not the only family here. There's like 7 different groups of people in this.
And I'll always make it my best or go out my way to make sure I treat waitress good, because waitress, a lot of times they do this because they have to. You think they want to? The waitresses don't really get paid that much anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it as they have to work. And why would I, as a human being, want to make their life even work harder by treating them bad? Well, I can be a blessing to them. I can say something nice to them, and maybe leave them a nice tip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go
Make
out
them
your
feel,
way.
make them feel happy.
These people aren't waiting just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, like he said, it's a spirit thing. You can tell. It's easier sometimes than other times, but it's there. You can see the signs of it. So, well, me, I got this one stuck out to me. I thought about this, and it is John chapter 15 verses 18 through 20, which says, "If the world hates you, know that it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you." That, to me, says a lot. Because especially in today's climate and in today's environment, Christian people get a lot of hate. And it's always, you hate us because we're such and such, or you're against our group, or you're always past judgment, or these Christian people are so picky, why can't you just leave us alone? Keep your religion to yourself, and all this and all that. And when you look on the news or you see things, people are always going against Christians. I mean, it's always been like that. From all the way, even back in Jesus' time, you know? So, it only makes sense to me that the world would be against us because the world is full of evil. I mean, that's Satan's number one priority, is to separate us from the Lord. And because we have free will and we can choose, he does a pretty good job at that with people. So we live in a world full of evil, and evil does not like light. So when you have the light of Christ in you, it's a two-edged sword, because it's a good thing because your life is better and you lead a more peaceful life within yourself. You know that you surrender to a higher power. But the other side of that sword is you're like a flame in the darkness, and evil is like a moth. All of them will just come at you constantly. So, but the good thing about that is where Jesus says, know that the world hated me before it hated you. That's basically him saying, understand that I know what you feel, and the world hated me before it hated you, but I chose you, right? You are with me. Therefore, as long as we're with Christ, I mean, we really have nothing to worry about in this temporary existence on this planet, I mean, there are things that are going to happen that are going to suck and could be bad or sad and stuff, but like ultimately, at the end of the day, what we have with God is permanent over anything on this planet. Everything on this earth will pass away, but the word will always remain. So when we have Jesus, we basically have all we need.
Let's see this. Take something from this too. It says the world hates you. Hates him. What is Jesus? He's the truth. People hate the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Christianity is the most attacked religion. Because it's the truth. That's why it's attacked. Other ones ain't the truth. This is the truth.
Other religions actually get more protected than we do.
If you speak the truth today, people will walk away from you. People will hate you. People won't want to talk to you because you're just telling them the truth.
Yep.
And this is not only in the world, this is in the church house. Because you can tell some people that says they're, Christians, and you'll try to tell them the truth, they'll get mad at you, and then they'll hate you, right? But I call those church folks. There's godly men and women, then there's church folks. The church folks are the ones you got to watch out for. Them's the ones that attack you for telling the truth. Them's the ones that worship their churches. Them's the ones that's stuck in the square of a building instead of going out and reaching out to the people in that community. Them church folks. Godly men and women go out amongst where they live and they reach people through Jesus Christ. That's a godly man and godly woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They go around teaching the truth, preaching the truth, and they get a lot of backlash because they are preaching the truth.
Well, all I know is I don't care about having love of the whole world, because eventually, like, all that's gonna just, in 20 years, what everybody loves now is not gonna be the same as what everybody loves then. So I'm not. That doesn't matter to me. Like, as long as I have the love and acceptance of the Lord, I'm cool. I'm chilling. So that's it for you. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed his megaphone.
Well, if that don't work them up, I don't know what will.
Yeah, if y'all still can't hear him this time, there's really no hope. Y'all just gonna have to deal. We'll figure it out eventually. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope y'all have a good week. God bless. Stay safe. Be careful out there. It's a crazy world we live in. Make sure to do something nice for people. You know, treat people kindly. It goes a long way. It really does. Why would you want to go through life bitter and angry? It's so much easier just to be nice. So, with that, we'll see you next week.
All good.
It's all good, he said. All right. Take it easy. Adios.